The Philippines is developing an airport on an island it occupies in the West Philippine Sea, as the Southeast Asian nation asserts its claims in the disputed waters amid lingering tensions with Beijing. Procurement of land for the runway extension is underway for the Pag-asa Island Airport Development project. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s communications office said in a statement on Thursday. Pag-asa is the local name of Thitu Island in the Spratly Islands in the South China Sea, where Beijing lays sweeping claims. Once completed, the project is expected to provide an efficient mode of travel to and from the remote island where Filipino civilians and military personnel live. According to the statement, the plan shows the Philippines' resolve to keep its presence in contested waters, as China also pushes its claims that have been dashed by a 2016 arbitral ruling. Manila has also been sending vessels in the disputed sea, causing clashes with Beijing. A military runway on the island of Balabac in Palawan province, near the West Philippine Sea, is also nearing completion. Balabac is one of the 4 new sites that the U.S. military can access under a defense agreement that was expanded last year. "We are in the final stages of working on the Balabac military runway, especially since Palawan will play a big role in national security," Marcos said. The infrastructure projects are among priorities under the Marcos administration and are part of efforts to open the region south of the capital to new investments, ease transport, and strengthen the tourism sector. Tensions in the South China Sea have been a long-standing issue with multiple countries, including the Philippines, China, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei, laying claim to various parts of this resource-rich area. China's extensive claims, demarcated by the so-called 9-dash line, overlap with those of its neighbors and have been a source of regional friction. In 2016, an international tribunal in The Hague ruled against China's claims in favor of the Philippines. But Beijing has largely ignored the ruling, continuing to build and militarize artificial islands. In April, China's Coast Guard intercepted and shadowed Philippine vessels in an effort to block them from operating within the U.S. allies' internationally recognized maritime zone. And earlier this year, Chinese Coast Guard ships damaged a Philippine supply boat with water cannons and injuring sailors on board. Manila vowed unspecified countermeasures. The Philippines has taken steps to bolster its presence in the contested waters. The construction of an airport on Pag-asa Island, known internationally as Thitu Island, is part of this broader strategy. The airport development, first reported by Bloomberg, is seen as a move to enhance both civilian and military access to the island, where a small Filipino community and military personnel are stationed. China has indisputable sovereignty over Nansha Kundao, including Zhongyedao, and the adjacent waters, a spokesperson at China's U.S. Embassy told Newsweek, using the Chinese names for the island and the collection of islands it is a part of. China does not recognize the status quo of Philippines, illegal occupation of relevant maritime features of the Nansha Islands, and opposes the unlawful construction carried out by the Philippines on maritime features of China's Nansha Islands. The spokesperson said, "The development of the airport on Pag-asa Island is likely to further strain relations between Manila and Beijing." The Chinese embassy spokesperson said, "China has been committed to resolving relevant disputes with the Philippines through direct negotiation and friendly consultation on the basis of respecting historical facts and international law. We hope the Philippine side will honor its commitments, fully and effectively implement the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea, and get back onto the right track of bilateral negotiation for the disputes at an early date," the spokesperson added. China asserted its sovereign rights over Pag-asa Island, accusing the Philippines in return of illegally occupying the area. Early this year, a group of Philippine senators visited the island of Pag-asa in the South China Sea to launch a project that involves the construction of new barracks and other facilities aimed at strengthening the military and logistical capabilities of the armed forces in the area, control of which is disputed by China. This was reported by the Hong Kong newspaper South China Morning Post, according to which the project, intended to guarantee Manila logistical advantages and better access to the area's natural resources, risks provoking further counter-moves from Beijing, which already yesterday he threatened the senators by radioing the plane they were traveling on, asking for them to be removed. It's sad. We are in our country, on Philippine territory, and we are told to leave because it would be Chinese territory. It is truly shocking, alarming, and infuriating, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri told reporters during the visit. The island of Pag-asa, Hope in Filipino, also known as Thitu by the Vietnamese and Zhongye Dao by the Chinese, is just under 500 kilometers from the coast of the Philippine province of Palawan. It is the largest of the Kalayaan group within the Spratly archipelago, whose sovereignty is claimed by Manila, Beijing, Taipei, and Hanoi. This island was ours even before Ferdinand Magellan discovered the Philippines. So, go away, added Zubiri, addressing his Chinese interlocutors directly. In recent years, military and civilian ships have been flying into the area more and more frequently, as China accuses the Philippines of illegally occupying the archipelago. The inauguration of the works in Pag-asa comes at a time of strong tensions between the two countries. In recent months, relations between China and the Philippines have been punctuated by numerous accidents in the waters of the South China Sea, a basin through which more than 60% of world sea trade passes, approximately $300 billion of goods per year, and 65% of China's foreign trade. Beijing claims almost all of it on the basis of the so-called 9-dash line, which since the ex-Numexes has demarcated the portion of the sea that China considers under its sovereignty. Opposing China's claims are Taiwan and all the coastal countries, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, and the Philippines. As Xi's China's international ambitions have grown, Beijing's aggressiveness has also increased, which in recent years has started a rush to militarize many of the atolls and reefs that underpin the South China Sea, as well as more frequent there have been accidents and risks of clashes between military ships and civilians from coastal countries. More and more often, in recent months, such episodes have concerned the Chinese and Philippine coast guards, and above all, the Second Thomas Shoal, the Spratly Archipelago. It falls within the Exclusive Economic Zone, EEZ, of Manila. As confirmed in 2016 also by a ruling from the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, which however has always been ignored by Beijing. China, which considers those islands part of its territory, frequently uses its coast guard to remove, often with the use of water cannons, Philippine ships sent from Manila on a supply mission to the approximately 20 soldiers stationed at BRP Sierra Mother. In this regard, the Philippine government reiterated its determination to maintain its military outpost in Second Thomas. Philippine National Security Council spokesman Jonathan Malaya said Manila intended to re-evaluate refueling arrangements, but would not allow anyone to remove the wreckage of the ship. The development of an airport on Pag-asa Island by the Philippines underscores its determination to assert sovereignty in the contested South China Sea. Despite China's sweeping claims and opposition, the Philippines is moving forward with infrastructure projects to bolster its presence and improve access for civilians and military personnel. This strategic move is set against a backdrop of increasing regional tensions, frequent maritime incidents, and international disputes. As Manila enhances its logistical and military capabilities, the construction on Pag-asa and other key sites reflects a broader strategy to reinforce its claims, ensure national security, and open the region to new investments and tourism. The ongoing developments highlight the complexities of geopolitical dynamics in the South China Sea and the persistent challenges in resolving territorial disputes.